We start our days feeling like we are already drowning in noise. You wake up and your chest immediately tightens with heavy anxiety. The to-do list looks longer than a receipt for a month of groceries. We try so hard to please everyone and chase 14 different goals simultaneously. By the evening, you collapse on the couch completely exhausted and empty. You scroll through social media until midnight, wondering why life feels so chaotic. I want you to know that this heavy feeling is not your fault. Most of us are silently drowning in this ocean of overcomplication today. We carry the weight of the world on our tired shoulders every day. But I am here to tell you the honest and liberating truth. Life is actually far simpler than our busy minds make it out to be. There is one golden rule that can change your entire reality immediately. If you apply this rule ruthlessly, it will make life 10 times simpler. Before I share the secret, let me explain why you feel this way. Your beautiful brain is addicted to making life harder than it needs to be. It is a survival mechanism that tries to keep you busy and safe. If you do not control it, you will always feel stuck in chaos. Are you ready to hear the rule that will set your spirit free? You simply need to do less, but you must do it much better. This sounds simple, but it is a dangerous idea for the old you. If you actually follow this rule, everything in your world changes forever. Let me break this down so you can truly see the picture. Most people live life juggling 15 flaming torches while riding a unicycle. It looks impressive for a moment, but eventually you will crash hard. But the people who live calm and high-output lives do differently. They pick a few things that actually matter and go all in. This simple truth applies everywhere from your bedroom to the boardroom. Look at the legendary turnaround of Steve Jobs back in the 90s. He came back to Apple when the company was collapsing into failure. Do you know the very first thing he did to save it? He killed almost 70% of the entire product line immediately. He cut it down to just a few essential products that mattered. He knew that complexity kills clarity and destroys your ability to execute. Within a few years, Apple went from bankruptcy to ruling the world. Why did they succeed when everyone else expected them to fail miserably? They followed the rule to do less but do it much better. Now let us zoom in on you and your own daily life. How much of your daily stress comes from doing too many things? You have too many apps and too many commitments clogging your mind. You are chasing too many half-baked goals that you never actually finish. We tell ourselves we must learn Spanish and master the piano simultaneously. You want to start a side hustle while reading 30 books? You also try to maintain a perfect social life every weekend. Please take a deep breath and just stop for a second. Here is the hard truth that your exhausted brain needs today. You do not need to add more to your full plate. You actually need to do far less to find your peace. But the less you choose must be done with total excellence. I know exactly what your fearful inner voice is screaming now. You are terrified that doing less means you will miss out. No, my friend, you will actually start winning for the first time. True success never comes from dabbling in 20 different shallow things. It comes from doubling down on the vital few that matter. Let me share a personal story from when I was struggling. Back in college, I was the guy who signed up for everything. I joined 3 clubs and tried to start a new business. I went to the gym daily while pulling painful all-nighters. Guess what happened to my health and my peace of mind? I burned out and felt completely miserable every single day. My life looked like a messy garage sale of unfinished projects. Then, one quiet day, I finally had a sudden moment of pure clarity. I realized that focusing on fewer things would actually help me finish something. So I took a deep breath and began to cut my list ruthlessly. I quit the clubs and paused every single side project immediately. I picked just 2 simple priorities, which were my health and my school. Suddenly, my life felt lighter, like a heavy backpack was dropped. My grades went up, and I finally got in the best shape ever. For the first time in years, I was not constantly stressed out. That is when I learned that doing less helps you win more. This powerful rule applies to your personal goals and billion-dollar companies. Amazon did not become massive by selling everything on day 1. They started their journey by doing just one simple thing with books. They nailed that one specific niche and built the infrastructure perfectly. Imagine if they tried selling groceries and electronics right out of the gate. They likely would have collapsed under the weight of their own ambition. Doing less at the start laid the strong foundation for doing more later. Now, let us get practical and apply this rule to your life. Step 1 is to identify the vital few things that truly matter. Ask yourself what 2 things will actually move the needle for you. If you are building a career, maybe it is mastering just one skill. If you are focusing on health, it is likely just lifting weights. You must forget the 19 hacks and complex productivity apps today. What is the one core thing that actually matters for you? Let us try a little exercise to find your truth right now. Write down every single goal you are currently chasing on paper. Now, ask yourself a very difficult but necessary question about them. If I could only succeed at one thing this year, which one? Which single victory would change my life the absolute most today? That is your honest answer and the one to prioritize immediately. Everything else on that list is just optional background noise now. Step 2 is to ruthlessly cut the rest of the noise. If it is not essential, then it is just a distraction. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to your dreams. If you want a simpler life, start saying no more often. No, I am not joining that crowded group chat this week. No, I do not need to start a third side hustle. No, I am not reading 14 self-help books without applying one. Here is a simple mental trick that I use every day. If it is not a complete hell yes, then it is no. Seriously, stop saying yes out of guilt or fear of missing out. Step 3 is to obsess completely over the quality of work. When you do fewer things, you have no excuse for mediocrity. Fewer projects means more intense focus on the details that matter. High quality is the only thing that actually gets noticed today. Think about the greatest athletes who have ever walked this earth. Usain Bolt did not try to become the best at everything. He picked sprinting and became an absolute legend in that lane. Michael Phelps and Tiger Woods followed this exact same simple formula. They simplified their focus to one lane and dominated it completely. You do not remember people for being just okay at everything. We remember them for being legendary at one single specific thing. Nobody praises Picasso for his cooking or his gardening skills today. He went all in on painting and the world remembers him. Now let us address the heavy elephant standing in the room. Simplifying your life does not mean it suddenly becomes easy. In fact, it can be much harder because saying no hurts. Cutting out the distractions feels uncomfortable and scary in the moment. Choosing one path means grieving the loss of all other paths. But that is the necessary price you pay for true simplicity. The reward for this pain is freedom and absolute personal power. Minimalism is not just about owning fewer physical things in your home. It is really about focusing your precious human energy correctly. If your attention is scattered everywhere, you will never feel peace. You will always feel behind no matter how hard you work. But once you adopt this rule, you will wake up lighter. Every decision gets easier because you are not choosing between hundreds. You are simply choosing between the two things that actually matter. Depth will always beat breadth in your work and your relationships. You do not need 500 acquaintances to feel truly loved. You need 3 people who will answer your call at midnight. Society will try to resist this and tell you to rush. Everyone around you will brag about how busy and tired they are. Let them run while you stand still with clarity and purpose. It is not because you do not have enough time today. It is simply because you are doing too many useless things. Cut the noise and watch how your life becomes 10 times simpler. When you stop scattering your energy, you finally start to live. You are no longer rushing, but you are fully present now. That is the only kind of life that feels truly meaningful. Do less, but do it better and watch your world change.